Welcome to Motorbike Explorer. In the last episode, I had just left the ancient city of Palenque and am now headed into the Yucatan Peninsula, first driving through the cities of Champoton and then through Campeche. I am really looking forward to seeing what the Yucatan has in store for me, and I think a stop to the clear blue waters and fine white sandy beaches of the Caribbean is a definite must. The city of Champoton has a population of around 31,000 and is situated right on the coast of the Gulf of Mexico. The city dates back to at least the 10th century and was conquered by Spain in the 16th century, when the famous Battle of Mala Pelea occurred. It's hard to read my paper map while I'm writing, but every now and then I can see small glimpses of the Gulf of Mexico, which means I am on the right track. The roads here are smooth and fast, and the views of the Gulf waters are spectacular. With the blistering sun and dry climate, I am tempted to go for a swim. Just north of Champoton is the coastal city of Campeche, which is much larger in size, containing a population of around 260,000. The city was founded in 1540 by Spanish conquistadores as San Francisco de Campeche. However, before the Spanish invasion, the city was inhabited by the Maya and was called Campeche. There were approximately 3,000 houses and various monuments, of which little trace remains. After a long day of riding, I am headed to a hotel for a good night's rest. But first, I have to figure out how to get there. I typically skip lunch when I'm on the road. I have a hearty breakfast and a decent-sized dinner, which gives me the stamina to ride all day while only stopping for gas and water. I think this method adds to my speedy progress. Well fed, rested, and gassed up, it's time to get on the road again and explore the rest of the city on the way out. Riding into the city yesterday, I passed many old churches with surrounding walls that reminded me of the Spanish missions in San Antonio, Texas. The city of Campeche had been designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site back in 1999 due to the state of preservation and architecture of the old colonial Spanish buildings and fortifications. The walls surrounding the main part of the city was an important defense system against the Dutch and English buccaneers and pirates that would constantly attack the city. Campeche definitely made a lasting impression on me due to its diverse architecture of both old and new. As I leave Campeche, I head towards the ancient city of Uxmal, but I will have to cross long sections of desolate roads to get there. Soon after leaving Campeche, I was struck with an immense feeling of solitude. I've been on this journey for 5 weeks now, and compared to the amount of time I still have ahead of me, it's not much. But I'm already starting to feel very isolated, very confined, alone. I would have thought that the excitement of new landscapes, visiting ancient ruins, and trying new foods would prevent me from feeling this way, but it hasn't. It just kind of snuck up on me. The best way to describe the feeling is that it's similar to what people face when staying on an island for an extended period of time. Island fever, a feeling of being isolated and stuck. This feeling may have started the moment I left the United States, and gradually grew the further south I traveled. The road can be pretty lonesome, especially in a foreign country where you may not know the language too well, or maybe not at all. I have had a lot of major life-changing experiences in the past, mostly good, but some bad ones as well. And what I have learned from these changes is that you can adapt to them. It takes time for this, but it will eventually happen. You adapt to change. You will eventually become unstuck. It just takes time. These longer clips are placed to give you a sense of being on the lonesome road, to experience what I am experiencing at this moment in time. It's not pretty, there are times of sadness, but this is life's journey, a journey of ups and downs. I think it's time to change it up a bit. Maybe an unscheduled stop is in order to lift my spirits back up. I've been told that Mexico has some pretty remarkable caves, and I think it's time to get out of the heat, stretch the legs a bit, and explore one of these subterranean landscapes. It's pretty cool to have an entire, brilliantly lighted, subterranean cave all to yourself. What a magical moment. Feeling refreshed and invigorated, I continued on to Uxmal at a very brisk pace. There is an ancient city waiting for me to explore. When entering the ancient city of Uxmal, visitors are greeted by the Pyramid of the Magician. At a height of 131 feet, or 40 meters, it is the tallest structure here. The step pyramid was built at a very steep angle and features an elliptical base rather than a square one, making it very distinctive compared to the other step pyramids in the Yucatan Peninsula. There are 5 temples that were built into the Pyramid of the Magician, with the 5th being at the summit. The temple facades are heavily decorated with lattice ornamentation and masks of the rain god. It took the Mayans over 3 centuries to build the Pyramid of the Magician, with construction starting at around 560 AD. Guests are not allowed to climb this pyramid structure, so you will have to use your imagination on what the view must look like from the top. Uxmal was home to around 25,000 Maya and was one of the largest cities in the Yucatan Peninsula. According to Maya chronicles, the city of Uxmal was founded around 500 AD and was in alliance with the city of Chichen Itza. The 2 cities dominated all of the northern Maya area. Around 1000 AD, Uxmal was taken over by Toltec invaders, and around 1200 AD, construction ceased. This was probably related to the fall of Uxmal's ally city of Chichen Itza, which facilitated a shift of power in Yucatan to Mayapan. The layout of the city was in reference to astronomical phenomena, such as the rising and setting of the planet Venus. The Puuc-style architecture consists of walls that are horizontally divided, with the lower portion having beautifully dressed building blocks, and the upper portion having richly decorated symbolic motifs and sculptures over doorways and corners. The faces you see here are representations of the head of Chak, the rain god. The Nunnery Quadrangle, which was a name given to it by the Spanish, is a large courtyard surrounded by 4 rectangular buildings containing a total of 74 individual rooms. Although the given name suggests this area was occupied by religious nuns, its true purpose is not known. The area of the center courtyard is very expansive, measuring 260 by 212 feet, or 79 by 65 meters. Each of the 4 temple sides have highly decorated facades that feature a lattice design along with Chak figures. Each building is set on a different level, indicating a hierarchical ranking of importance, with the north building being at the highest level. Standing at the north building, looking south, you can see the governor's palace far away in the distance. The large ball court is located in between the governor's palace and the Nunnery Quadrangle. Ball courts have been featured at all of the ancient sites I visited in Mexico and holds a great deal of significance to the Maya people. The game is played with a heavy rubber ball that can only be struck with the player's hips. The goal is to hit the ball through a ring mounted on each of the opposing walls. The winning team would be awarded with the ultimate prize, human sacrifice to the gods. The large governor's palace covers an area of almost 13,000 square feet, or 1,200 square meters. It is considered one of the finest examples of the Puuc-style Maya architecture, mainly due to the immense earth and stone platform that was constructed as its foundation. The main stairway to the palace faces an unusual double-headed jaguar throne that was used by the ruler of Uxmal. At the time, the jaguar was considered to be a major symbol of power. The upper facade of the palace is richly decorated, much like the other buildings in the ancient city. The Great Pyramid with the Temple of the Guacamayas, or Parrots, stands just under 100 feet tall. It was partially dismantled by the Maya as it was being prepared to be covered by a much larger structure. Visitors can climb the steep pyramid, and the view at the top is spectacular. The ancient city of Uxmal is vastly different than the cities at El Tahin and Palenque in its architectural style and layout. I am sure that the terrain and local environment had a lot to do with this. Uxmal was the first time I saw a circular type structure. This structure was used as some kind of hospital, where the sick were placed at the center and the health god would be summoned. The extremely hot and arid climate of the Yucatan can be very difficult to handle when navigating these large ancient cities. Take your time climbing to the tops of the pyramids, as some of them can be very tall and steep. Take lots of breaks when necessary. There are no handrails and the steps are very narrow. Also, bring plenty of water, wear sunscreen, and, like always, let your curiosity lead the way. After my visit to Uxmal, it is time to relax a little and enjoy the soothing waters of the Caribbean Ocean. I will be stopping at a beachfront campground near Playa del Carmen. Reflecting back on my visit to Uxmal and the other Maya sites that I visited, I wonder why and how each city has its own distinct layout and architectural style. The change is pretty drastic from one site to the next. How was trade conducted? Were there schools or some kind of educational system? Which cities were allies and which ones were enemies? These are all questions I hope to answer through my research. In the meantime, I will enjoy the changing scenery as I make my way east to Playa del Carmen. I want to thank you for joining me as I traveled from the ancient city of Palenque to Uxmal. This episode covered a lot of long, isolated roads, in which I hope you were able to get a sense of how it feels to travel solo on such a long trip. At this point, I'm actually closer to Florida than I am to Texas. If this is your first time watching Motorbike Explorer, be sure to check out the other episodes in the channel, and subscribe if you want to be notified when a new one is uploaded. Don't mind me, I'm just trying to find out where this beachfront campground is. Ah, found it.